3, 2, 1, and we're live. We're Kyushu live. Welcome to Kyushu. Welcome to Fukuoka. And welcome to Daimyo, Garden City. And hey, let me say hello to y'all. Let me say hello to you because today I have a special guest. Very special guest. Oh, alright. Damn. I knew he'd do this. Let's go look for him. Let's find him. All right, where is he? Not
hiding.
Kola, dame.
Hello.
Hey, it's Ollie.
How
you doing? Hisashiburi ne.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Fukuoka.
Thank you so much. Here before.
This is all pretty new to you.
Yeah. So when I took my taxi from the airport, I said to the driver, "What's changed?" And I went, "Oh, there's a very nice hotel." And I said, "Oh, where's that?" Yeah. He said, "Right next to the Nishitetsu Grand Hotel."
Correct.
And I said, "I know where that is."
That's the Nishitetsu Grand Hotel there.
And
he was referring. This is your hotel. This is where you're staying.
That's right, baby. Got the penthouse suite just there under the tree.
Yeah, under the tree. Yeah, where are you camped, Ollie? Let's be honest here. Where are you camped?
Yeah, quite. Yeah. I mean, these are got to set you back because I remember once treating my the Hilton Fukuoka.
Right.
And I thought that set me back.
Okay, but what we're talking about the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. Fukuoka Ritz-Carlton is about to open in the end of June. You got here too early.
Yeah, unfortunately. Although I found out that I do know a staff member. Into an old friend who I probably shouldn't say who it is in case she doesn't want people to know. But she's going to be one of the bartenders on the rooftop bar, and she's being sent to Tokyo for a weeks-long training. So when I'm back, I'm hoping for the VIP treatment.
Okay, all right. Well, look, Ollie, we've got people who are watching, no doubt, who know who you are, but some people, I don't know why.
What is wrong with those
people? They may not know exactly who you are. Ollie, you're from the UK.
That's right. Igedesu kara kimashita. How's that? Still got it, baby. So I'm from the UK. I lived in Japan between 2014 and 2019, give or take. And I started in Fukuoka as a daigaku insei, a kenkyusha. So I was a researcher at Kyushu University.
Atamai yo.
Call me etemo tensei desu. And I researched Japanese trademark law.
Oh.
And
that doesn't sound very funny.
No, it's not really. Oh, I'm not going to tell you my copyright law jokes because you'll only steal them. And
I'm going to drop the camera.
And so then after a short while, I fell into the entertainment industry and I set up Comedy Fukuoka, which was Kyushu's first English language, or indeed any language, stand-up comedy club. And that's still going, even though I'm not here.
It is. Okay, well, look. Ollie, we said we'd go for a walk.
Great.
We'll walk and talk.
Love it.
And catch up on, hey, Mai's watching, Emiko's watching. So it sounds like we got a good signal. And so all these, I caught your show, was it Saturday night?
Yes.
The Saturday night you were back at your old haunt, Cheers?
Well, so I'd never been to Cheers. So believe it or not, Cheers has been going for I think 3 or 4 years.
Well,
I've never been.
Okay, but Chuck's, What's it before?
CC Cafe.
CC Cafe.
So the first venue we might have time to go there, right? But the first venue we ever did stand-up comedy was, believe it or not, a converted 1-bedroom apartment that became a bar. Look at that.
That's pretty cool. I didn't tell you the backstory of this. This is actually made by an acquaintance of mine, friend of mine, Nakamura, Hirome-san. Anyways, he is a Hakata doll.
It's the guardian dog of Daimyo.
It is. This
has been made to climb on, right?
Yes, it is, for children. Not for you.
It doesn't say that.
It doesn't say that, but yeah. That's right.
So
we're talking about CC Cafe. That's where Fukuoka comedy started.
We managed to get about 45 people huddled in what can only be described as a fire risk.
Which way do you want to go?
I just noticed that there's USB ports inside an outdoor bench.
That is very
We're literally
cool.
living in the future.
Where's the port exactly? There?
It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Wi-Fi and USB.
And so then we ended up kind of moving venues as we got bigger. We used to rent kind of event spaces when we had bigger names come. But so Chuck closed that bar down, moved over to Daimyo. And actually, I think that there's been a bit of a move from Oyafuko Dori to Daimyo in terms of
a big shift in the
entertainment.
City. That's right.
That's right.
Well,
Tricked you.
Where'd he go? Yeah.
But I used to live in Daimyo, so this is why this is why I wanted to come to Daimyo. Okay. There's a couple of places which mean a lot to the Comedy Fukuoka gang.
Before we do that, let's show what we just walked through here. Again, that was Daimyo Garden City is the name of that new sort of public space there. But this is the former elementary school. Daimyo Shogakko desu ne?
Yes,
and inside here is something that you were...
I was involved with,
Fukuoka
Startup Cafe. And actually, one of my lecturers at Kyushu University, she was a student here at Daimyo Elementary School.
Oh.
And, I remember when this place opened, when the Startup Cafe opened, they were expecting lots of foreign entrepreneurs to come and start businesses. What actually happened was a load of old people came to reminisce. But are we allowed to go in?
We can just into the foyer. We're not going to go inside the cafe, but we can go into the foyer and show people.
Oh, this has changed a bit.
Yeah, well now it's Fukuoka Growth Next, but the Startup Cafe is just one of the tenants. It's mostly an incubator facility here.
Yeah, so it was always the case that they wanted to give cheap office space to startups. And some of the rooms are quite wonderful. There was our bar down there, which was
still
great,
original
classroom. And it has the old chalkboard, the old kokuban.
Right. We can just take, I just want to take a view from here. At least I'm not going to bring the camera close, but that's the Startup Cafe. It's just the same place, it's just been remodeled a bit.
Yeah, and of course the Startup Cafe as a concept existed before. It was in the old Tsutaya building.
True.
And when they obviously moved here as part of this complex. And they used to do a lot of really good events. They used to have like Murio Bengoshi Sodan for consulting with lawyers.
And so did you have a startup of your own at the time?
Well,
you did, didn't you?
I had a startup, but I was running it from Japan, but it was registered in the UK. And I had discussions with people from the city about potentially moving it over.
Whichever way you want to go, I
wanted to quickly just show you.
Sure, yeah, we can go anywhere. We got no plans, no route today.
Well, there's one place which, whenever we brought a foreign comedian to Japan, we would always take them to this izakaya.
Hey, wait, sorry to interrupt you, but you have one of your riverboat cruise listeners, Kumiko.
Oh, cool.
Kumiko's listening.
Great. Hey, Kumiko. Well, maybe we should be actually going on an actual river cruise.
Well, we can head over to Nahasu. There's a river there.
Yeah, we absolutely can. Although the rule is we're never going to do a cruise.
Okay.
So anyway, so to finish that story, yes, I did have chats with like local government officials about moving the company here, but even they conceded that at the time it was a bit of a PR exercise, this whole startup city Fukuoka. There wasn't too much tacit money or visa support.
It was a startup.
It absolutely was. It was very much an MVP. But I think now it's got better. Before you'd only get, for example, a 6-month visa, which is just useless. And you couldn't get loans, unless you have property, which of course you don't if you've got a startup. I think it's got better now. But I just wanted to show you this place. This is just
brings back memories.
Well, it really does, because firstly, 270 yen, even 7 or 8 years ago, was cheap.
You came here as a student, right?
Well, that's right, exactly. So that's very student pricing.
In your budget.
But if you think about with inflation, everything being 270 yen is
I've never been in here. What is this? 270 yen for?
It's just an izakaya.
Everything, just izakaya.
But so the reason that we liked it was twofold. One, the foreign comedians who would come would love the fact that it's those izakaya style tables where you put your legs under, that kind of vibe. And they had touchscreens before they became popular.
Wow.
So they had these old fashioned like karaoke style monitors. And their karage is legit good.
It just smells good. I can smell it already here. And does this bring back any memories? This is where the Happy Cock used to be. I don't even know the Happy Cock still exists.
It seems to.
It seems to.
That's
where the people who know Fukuoka are the old gaijin bar scene.
That's where the great unwashed of Fukuoka hang out, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow. That brings back memories to me.
Happy Cock, it was an absurd place. There's a couple of salacious stories I can tell you about visiting comics.
Maybe we'll wait for the post show for that.
But that Happy Cock was quite the establishment. Anyway, so this old daimyo school, I remember. The best part about it was they had this kind of free co-working space.
Okay.
And so you could just sit and use the tables all day.
Right.
And often in coffee shops in Japan, there's no hard and fast rule, but they do tend to kind of suggest you might want to buy another coffee every couple of hours.
Of course.
But not here.
But not there, no. Well, no, it's still going. You know what? There's an engineers cafe.
Yes, run by my friend Laurie.
Yes, right. Laurie's there. That's right, engineer cafe. And then there's another new city-run cafe. There's an artist cafe.
Oh,
it's open in Maizuru.
By Maizuru, I walked past it this morning.
So it's not just for startups or IT nerdy geeks anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. And actually, one thing that I think is, I've been away from Japan for 5 years, and I do think one thing that's quite precious, particularly about the way Fukuoka runs things, is there's just a lot of spaces which you can be in without spending money. And when I think about London, there's almost nowhere you can go without the implication that you've got to spend money to be there.
Right.
Whereas here,
actually, on our website, we have a page, a very popular section, free in Fukuoka. And you're right, there's a lot of things you can do for free. Are we coming up to another Natsukashi spot?
Well, this place, right? This is called Hirao.
Yes.
So they've moved. This didn't always used to be here.
This is relatively new.
But
to be in this location,
this is a, how do you say, tempura.
Yeah, it's really good.
And the queue lines here.
That's right. They have the.
When I used to live here, I always thought it was my duty.
Right.
So I kind of had a policy. If there was no land. Also, this place, I'm not sure if it's changed, but this used to be a really cheap, all-you-can-eat yakiniku.
This thing has changed ownership.
Yeah, it looks like it
they have the shichirin, the little grills there. So they're probably still doing yakiniku, but it looks like, hey, Jack's watching us. Hi, Jack. Old friend, new friend of Ollie's wants to say hi, wants to ask some questions. Or remember, he's a comedian, so it's okay to heckle. Right?
I'm not sure that's true.
No?
Well, I mean, actually, you came to the show on Saturday. I didn't have any heckles.
I was hoping there would be. And I didn't want to be the one because I like to see a comedian do crowd work.
Sure.
That's my kind of for live comedy. I like to see someone,
be tested.
Yeah, be tested and enjoy and involve the crowd.
Let's start talking about my my comedy, and this is a good example of how Daimyo has changed.
Okay.
This was not a second-hand clothing store.
Not at all.
When I lived here.
Not at all.
And almost every empty shop has now become
kind of high-end, eh?
There are so many second-hand clothing shops. I'm worried if anyone's actually buying any new clothes at the moment. It's incredible. I mean, this whole area is just full of second-hand clothing shops.
No one can afford the new stuff, Ollie.
No, have you seen the prices? It's insane. It's absolutely mad.
It's fashionable, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Should we cross?
We got Tony Van Vendor. I think he's from Holland, if I'm not mistaken. I think one of our regular viewers. Yeah.
Great.
So yeah, we're talking about comedy. So that's right. You had this show that I saw you Saturday at Cheers. This was the last show on a recent tour of yours.
Yeah.
Where did that tour start, and when did it start? Tell us about your comedy.
Good question.
And then along the way, if you see something that wow, I remember that.
Well, I've just seen something. So this is actually this is the inspiration for a comedy routine up in Japanese.
Okay. All right.
And this shot was the inspiration for one of my best routines.
Nande? Why?
So can you see what this says?
It says gyoza.
Gyoza senmonten.
So it's a specialty shop for dumplings.
And then can you see what it says in hiragana?
And then it says cha.
The hiragana, hitokuchi.
Oh, hitokuchi, yes, right.
Hitokuchi gyoza, which means
that's relative,
bite
isn't it?
signs. Well, that's the point. So that's the point. So I did this joke about how I saw this Hakata hitokuchi gyoza shop, and I was like, "Jibun nara donna gyoza demo hitokuchi de taberareru kara dou demo ii." And so this shot was the inspiration for a routine about Hakata gyoza and the relative merits of things being smaller than they need to be.
Bite size. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Well, and it's also it's thought as a good thing that it's small, right?
That's exactly
and
it.
We're in America,
then
in America or Canada.
Exactly.
It's like, I want a big gyoza. Who would think of selling a small one?
Exactly.
Who would be happy about getting a small gyoza?
And you can imagine the Shimoneta punchline to this routine. Oh, you like things smaller, do you? Well, I've got news for you.
Oh, no. Right.
Anyway, so
sizes and everything.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it.
Right.
So anyway,
so you got a lot of your inspiration from daily life, as I guess all comedians do. But your life was here in Fukuoka.
Yeah, and
so you've got.
And I used to love writing jokes about Hakata things. I'd always make a point of.
You lead, Ollie. You lead, because it doesn't matter to me where we go.
Okay.
Quite frankly, I don't really.
Should we head towards my old?
Wow.
Should we do that?
Ollie's going to take me home. Can't say no to that. And look, we got matching shirts on today. Look at this.
I got the memo.
Yeah, you got that. I didn't send him a memo for that.
But I used to enjoy going to Tokyo and doing comedy in Japanese about Fukuoka things. You know, like I would talk about, you know, I'd do jokes about the men no katasa. You know, when you go to a ramen shop and you choose how hard.
Katamen.
Exactly. I was barikata.
Barikata.
Yeah. As hard as it gets. You know, so I used to kind of. I'll talk about Motsanabe and things like that. I used to like talking about
because
Kyushu
it's
things.
not everyone in Japan knows Kyushu culture
exactly.
or Fukuoka. You going to Tokyo and talking about Fukuoka, a bit exotic, or you know, you're sharing some.
And also, it kind of gave me a bit of credibility, I think. Right. You know, that they'd go, well, who the hell is this guy? Why is he speaking to us in Japanese?
Which way are we going, Ollie? I'm following you.
Let's go straight ahead.
Okay. You'll probably recognize things along the way.
Well, you'll also notice that, you know, all around here is more kind of clothes shops. And
yes.
I guess this area, Daimyo. Firstly, do you know...
Did you ever go there? I forget the name of this place. This is a Tachinomiya.
Oh, yeah.
This is a classic. It's a liquor store where you can go in there. We'll just take a quick little look and see. There's probably people there with big bottles of beer. Are they drinking? No, nobody. It's empty. Yeah. And the son of the owner here. I should have talked to the guy before. We could have gone in there. But this is called a Tachinomiya. So it's a liquor store where they have stand-up drinking spots. Maybe on the way back.
We have
time. We'll have a drink there.
Yeah, great. Well, actually, the whole of Daimyo has such a. There's just so many little bars. There's so many little alcohol shops.
Here's a good example.
Yeah.
Here's a look at this size. I don't know if you guys can see this well. We got a. Nodoka's watching. Hi, Nodoka.
This place says it does Spanish and Italian food. Why stop at one?
And then why stop at one? And they got the seats are. It's almost like a yatai. They got the seats. Seats right on the street.
Something that your viewers might find interesting, because we talked about this on the podcast once, is how can there be so many tiny bars, and how can they survive? Right. And the reason is shops like this. So can you see this little store here?
Yeah, straight ahead. Alec.
Oriku is how it's pronounced.
That's right. It's in hiragana.
And so this is not really. I mean, it is open to the public, but it's not really open to the public.
It's almost a wholesaler, isn't it?
Well, it is a wholesaler. And can you see they've got these little cars?
Little what?
These little carts. These tiny little like
scooter. This guy's just getting ready to blast off.
Can you see on the back of his truck is like 6 bottles.
Right, 6 bottles.
And then you know some soft drinks, that kind of thing.
And beer. すいません。いたらっしゃい。かっこいいね。これ電動ですか？電動。おしゃれね。もう進んでますね。はい。いたらっしゃい。So this is an electric bike.
But the point is this will be a delivery for a store for their stock for the night. And you can set up a little store and have no storage space and have no you know, they're not worried about spending loads of money on stock.
I see.
And so literally during service they'll make a call to these guys and say, look, I need 1 bottle of sake or 1 bottle of gin, and they'll deliver it normally for free or for minimal cost. And it's because of this infrastructure that these odd bars can exist. And I think people underappreciate that. It's not just that Japanese people do things differently. It's that there's different zoning laws. You know, you're allowed to turn apartments into bars if you want to. Should we walk this way?
Wherever you want, Ollie.
Yeah.
I'm trying to follow you anyways.
But it's
we've got someone saying hello from Papua New Guinea.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, I don't think we've ever had anybody. Welcome to Kyushu Live. Welcome to Kyushu. Fukuoka and the Ollie Horn Show.
Hello, welcome. I can tell you another thing about Daimyo. I used to make a joke. I used to tell on stage that I live in Daimyo. So those that speak Japanese will know that Daimyo is Dai Oki. Okay. So the one for big. In fact, there's that character there on the back of that truck. See, it says Kyudai Fudo. So you see, it's Dai for Daimyo, and then Myo is the character like Name.
I didn't know where you were looking.
So that's Daimyo no Dai. So that's very easy to write, right? And then Myo is the one for name, like when you write Namae. Right. So I used to live in Hakozaki, and I said, you know, when I was looking for an apartment, I was like, I want a kakiyasui address. I want an address that's easy to write. And Daimyo is some of the simplest kanji.
Right, well now they're writing it in Romaji. Daimyo soft cream.
Oh, this used to be my gym, and I used to watch people eat ice cream from a treadmill.
You see, I don't believe.
Go to Anytime Fitness. but listen, I didn't
come
know.
On, you should get your money back.
I said I used to.
Okay.
Let's be quite clear.
Right. Okay.
I used to watch people eat ice cream from the gym.
That's right. A gym. That's teasing. That's kind of cruel that they have a gym and then one of the best ice cream shops in all of Fukuoka, the Daimyo Soft Cream.
This place is also pretty good as well.
It's very good. Fukuoka Craftwood. This is okay. They moved the brewery. It's gone. They have a full-on brewery building.
And there'd be people waiting here to buy their ice cream in high season.
Yeah, there are.
Anyway, but Daimyo is a very historical place. Mm-hmm. Do you know where the word Daimyo comes from?
Well, I'll let you tell me, but it had something to do with, it was the area around the former castle, right?
Yeah.
And so there would have been a lot of samurai.
Yeah, so basically pre-Meiji, I mean, I don't know the history that well, but this was explained to me, so I'll butcher it. Mm-hmm. Pre-Meiji.
Okay. Your lead.
Yeah, so pre-Meiji, it was the daimyo people, because it was like, I think, daimyo is short for something like Myo-den, I think, because you've got Myo meaning the name, and Den meaning rice field, property. Okay. So it was the old property owners that would like control things and like, you know, take money from the samurais. And this used to be the capital of the whole area, you know, before the prefecture system. Right. So this was like, this had a lot of influence even after the Meiji era.
We have to go down here. Little street. We have to, and then I'm gonna interrupt. Share little bits of trivia, but also Daimyo. Do you know why a lot of the streets are not straight in Daimyo? Because they aren't, right? Look at this, at dog legs.
Why?
Defense.
Of course,
Defense, because it was so close to Fukuoka Castle area that I heard that the streets in Daimyo, compared to the other parts of Fukuoka, are windy.
Do you also know why these streets are narrow?
No.
Because they used to be covered.
They used to be were there water?
It used to be Shotengai style. Okay. So all of these, any of these buildings which are up to one floor like this, would have been covered. At least that's what I was told by.
Really? Right. And is this someone you know here? This in the pink suit here? No.
Looks like a great guy.
I've seen this guy somewhere before. Yes. But look at all these new trendy shops.
I know, and they are. It is incredible.
They change every half year.
I mean, look, on a technicality, I probably couldn't even work there. That's how small they are.
Yeah. They're tiny. They're tiny. Well, look, unfortunately, a new friend of mine has opened up a fantastic, authentic Rome-style pizza shop here. He's not open today. It's such a shame, I know. But I was going to bring you here, and we can walk by his shop. And we're going to introduce him in Fukuoka Now soon, but really cool shop.
This is pretty classic look, just like
look at this.
Trendy entrances.
For sure. Cool. What do they serve? Anakuma.
It looks like it's just opened. Yeah, opened a week or two ago. But there's so many of these kind of things. Now I want to take you to my favorite coffee shop in the world, because it's just
right here?
laughably small.
I thought so.
Yeah, little stand. Oh, it's closed. Of course, it's closed. It's basically like.
Yeah, little stand.
Little stand.
It used to be a honey coffee shop, did it not?
Yeah.
This is what you're talking about. I thought so. Okay,
it was.
Cool.
But
cool.
it's, I mean.
Okay, we're talking about, this is where Ollie used to come for
I used to get my morning coffee. Yeah.
Ollie coffee.
And they also used to do this fantastic.
That's a shame. It's open. It's not open today.
I know. But you can see the size of it. It's the same as this place.
Well, you know what? Here, I was going to show you that my friends, the pizza shop's here. This is real, authentic Roman.
Oh my God! Look at
that oven just came from.
No way.
There's none in Japan like it, and serve wine and style pizza.
This is like 6 square meters, isn't it?
2.9 tsubo. 2.9 tsubo is what he said. So that is incredible. Like what's that, about 3? Yeah, about 8 square meters, something like that. Tiny. It is incredible.
And the rent for these places is really cheap, because I actually looked into getting one. I wanted to set up a karage shop.
Karage.
That was my plan.
All these fried chicken, all these karage.
But life got in the way.
Okay, so that's the coffee shop. Okay, I know that. That when it opened, it was sort of a spin-off of. Wasn't it official honey coffee?
It was called Little Honey.
Little Honey, that's right. Because it was. Oh, how about here? Have you seen this?
Edible insects. Yeah, this is new.
Yeah, you want to go?
No.
Hey, I was going to treat you to some bugs.
Do you know
Come
what?
on.
I just had hamburger for lunch.
Yeah, let's. こんにちは。ちょっと stay ですか? So this shop here, we can't have to show this here. sells edible insects. また今度来ます。すいません。突然で。はい。Wow, we're going to have to come back and do a report on this shop here, but edible insects in Daimyo.
This is new. This was empty when I was here, right? This is what I wanted to take over.
Well, there's a high turnover in these times. I think if places do really well, they go on and open bigger shops.
Well, that's exactly what this guy was saying, actually, that one of the really great things about doing business in Japan is the startup costs are really, really low. The kind of the barrier to entry is very, very low. And also, I think business owners here, they don't see closing as necessarily a form of failure.
Right.
You know,
well, you have to, take some risks. You got to.
But there's a huge turnover.
Yeah. Well, everywhere in the world. But like my friend Lorenzo, who's doing that Italian pizza there, he said to Ray the Bee, he said, no, start small. He intends. Of course, he wants to succeed. Of course, he's going to outgrow.
But he wants to build a brand.
Yeah, but he's going to start there.
So this is where I used to live.
That's a garbage. That's where they throw the garbage. Come on, you're joking.
No, here.
Oh, okay, thank God. All right.
That was my apartment on the second floor there. This is due to be demolished. In fact, when I left, it was on the basis that.
Okay, wait a second. You were on the floor.
Well, let's not zoom in to see my underwear.
Well, you don't live there anymore.
Well, that's true.
But basically, you have some memories of any episodes you can.
Only that I remember when taking this place on, they were kind of warning about, the character of this area is changing.
Right.
And a lot of Japanese people don't want to live here because this street gets very noisy with drunk people. And it was interesting that the kind of the what are they called, the estate agent kind of said, Japanese people don't like to live in these apartments because there's no elevator. Okay. It's all tatami. And there's a huge amount of noise bleed. But actually, I loved it. It was 2 bedrooms.
No, I'm sure this is much more expensive than before. I bet the rent here.
Oh, no doubt.
I bet the rent's
I paid less.
I'm kind of surprised you lived here, Ollie.
I paid less than
almost a recent student. Yeah.
Well, I mean, at the time I was I had a proper job. I had my startup and I was working on the telly, so I had all right money. But it was just cheap. This was like $600 a month.
Oh, okay, well, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
I bet it's more now.
No doubt. Yeah. But it was 2 bedrooms.
Right.
Lovely big kitchen. This was, I'd obviously have my bike here, but just in front of me was this Times car share.
You still left it. That's Ollie. You're not allowed your to do bike that. Here. It's been there. Hey, Brandon.
I wonder if there's any posts
saying hello. If you're, let us know where you guys are watching from. Any questions for Ollie? He's someone who started in Fukuoka, is now touring all over the world as a stand-up comedian and producer, and he's back in Fukuoka.
You're supposed to put that back. You're supposed to.
Oh,
yeah, you are.
Okay, thank you, Ollie. You're
so I'm doing my civic duty.
Okay.
But look, I used to live here, and then there was a Times car share, and you know what this system is, right?
I know, but tell everyone else. Not everybody else knows.
Basically, no point in owning a car if you only use it occasionally.
Right.
But there's this scheme where you basically have a credit card, which you tap on the door of any of these cars, and you rent them by the hour, including all petrol or gas, as you call it.
They even have a Benz too.
I don't think that's included.
But it's in one of the same parking lots.
But I used to love it, and because you could try all these different cars. Yeah. You could have small ones to run about the city in. I used to take big ones to go to IKEA. It's just so convenient, and also really risky considering how semi the streets are.
It's a pottery studio in there.
This was lovely. They do lovely
pottery
food.
studio and tea.
But I mean, it's such a lovely neighbourhood. But over time, Border Point. I remember Border Point was
burgers.
Really lovely.
Burgers, and sandwich, American style sandwiches.
Coffee was good there as well.
But you know what? I'm not sure if it's opened anymore. We'll come check that out another time. Down there, like Ollie, I agree that. Good sort of American style sandwich and burgers, Border Point. Yeah. Jack's saying hi from Portland, Oregon. And
this was such a lovely street to live on.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, the character, you can see there's loads of residential property, right? These are housing.
True, there are some mansions, yeah.
But
condominiums here, yeah. Right. From Iraq. Margaret is watching from Iraq. Have you?
In a shameful episode, a lot of British comedians have because they go and do army tours.
Yeah,
but I've not done that.
Okay. All right. Sorry. about people. It was semi-residential. Before it was very residential daimyo.
Do you want a coffee?
Carbon
coffee is really
Carbon
nice.
coffee. Oh, this is great. Let's do it.
I used to go here a lot.
Okay, let's do it. Here, I've got change too.
Okay, what do you want?
Yeah, espresso.
Okay.
Whatever, just.
All right. Yeah, I win. Jackpot. Single?
What's it? A single espresso is good. Yeah.
Okay.
すいません。大丈夫ですか？はい。
So their cold brew is absolutely wonderful.
Cold brew, yeah. Yeah, no, I've had coffee here before. This is another tiny spot.
I just realised I got sidetracked. The whole daimyo thing. So they were the old landowners, right? Myo is short for Myo Dai, the old landowners. Basically, after the Meiji era, when Japan got cut up, all these like former, I guess the English word is gentry, still had a bit of a power base here, right? And loads of wealth here.
And real estate.
Well, that's exactly it. And you know, there was that whole thing about why is Fukuoka called Fukuoka, not Hakata?
Yes.
It was those guys that had the vested interest in calling it Fukuoka, and eventually the place was called Fukuoka rather than Hakata, because they were the old, like, you know, if you think about Hakata representing the new business interests and Fukuoka representing the old, you know, feudal interests.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So this area was, and you know, you can see it that all the kind of nicest old churches were built around here.
Well, and less industry, less manufacturing, less shops. This was more sort of what's the word? Commercial or service orientated, and more
totally.
manufacturing and making was on the other side of the rivers.
Totally.
Yeah.
And but I've noticed even in the 5 years I've been away, it's losing its residential character a bit.
Well, the city center core, but maybe later on this live stream we're going to walk along Meiji Dori and by the Shakusho, and you see the area of the Tenjin Big Bang developments going on. And if you haven't seen it already, it'll blow your mind.
But they are all, you know, because like say on the end of the street used to be a butcher's, they closed down. There was a greengrocer's, they were gone.
Right.
すいません。
ごめんなさい、すいません。はい、その邪魔しました。はい。
But yeah, I get the impression that like this has made the guidebooks. This part of town.
Oh, definitely, no, without a doubt. And all they haven't. One interesting about daimyo is there's a concentration of Korean owned shops, and then also Korean. Maybe I don't know who owns them, but for Korean. どうぞどうぞ。
よろしいですか。持ち帰りでコールドブルーを一つとシングルのエスプレッソをお願いします。How's my Japanese? I didn't get any Hongo. See, that shows he doesn't trust me, otherwise he wouldn't have put on the calculator.
Hello, konnichiwa. Do you speak English?
No.
Perfect.
But you can see the fact that he showed me the price on the calculator. He didn't have complete faith in my ability to understand 930. I might not have enough.
I have more cash.
4. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's dangerous.
I gave you all my loose change, but I have more. I got a 1,000 yen bill if you want.
I got a 1,000 yen bill. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do it. 1000円札からでお願いします。30円ですか？930 30円もあります。
So we're at Carbon Coffee, little mini tiny coffee stand. What's really cool about it is they have an outdoor table. That's why I come here myself sometimes. Good choice by Ollie. Ollie, was this open when you lived here, though?
Yeah, I used to go here often. Yes.
I thought this was a newer spot.
No, and what I liked about it was the owners, they've got good links with local craftspeople. So there'd always be, for example, you know, little art exhibitions or people will be selling jewellery. I think here there's some T-shirts on sale. And you get this a lot with these small places that they're not just coffee shops. They're, you know, if they've got a little bit of space, they do. And my ex-girlfriend used to rent a space. I think it's on the adjacent street. She used to make jewellery, and you know they charge her basically no money at all. And so you know all of these places are just very, very supportive of arts and crafts.
Yeah, that's good. So community. Yeah, we won't show that too much that way. I'll just scoop out here, but yeah, the nice little central table there. People working there as well too, and
to be honest, most of these places. I'd either like them or not like them, depending on whether they'd let me put
your flyers.
It was very simple. If they let us put flyers, they were on the good list, and if they said, "Ah, sorry, what Choto," I'd be like, "Well, I'll tell you what else is Choto, and me coming back ever again." Yeah.
That's you've passed that on.
Yeah,
I've
baton touched it. So Stephen's running it, and Chuck's obviously very involved as well.
Right.
Basically, we at the time we used to do a monthly English language show or open mic, and every quarter we would bring a visiting foreign act. You run events. You know the unit economics of running these events are really quite challenging. So we'd have to kind of buddy up with Hong Kong or Osaka or Tokyo, and we'd set up a tour for these visiting comedians. And Fukuoka would always be subsidised by the other events. So I don't really know how much people here quite appreciated that. Basically, they were being
subsidised.
Yeah, they were being subsidised. They were totally being subsidised. Whenever they'd moan about spending $30 on seeing a comedian that would charge double that in London, would drive me mad. But no, we used to have some brilliant acts come over, and it was, for me as well as someone who was learning how to do comedy, it was a wonderful environment because we had a very loyal audience that was very supportive, and we used to. Yeah, I mean, I think I learnt my craft here. I made my mistakes here, and also doing it in Japanese, doing comedy in Japanese meant that I had to learn how to write jokes, because you can kind of get away with charisma alone if you're doing it in your native language. But if you're doing it in a foreign language, the material's got to be there, because if you don't, because you can't sell bad material in a foreign language, it's got to be good.
It's got to be good. And this is sort of drifting a little bit here, but your time in Japan and Fukuoka doing comedy, now you're mostly outside, of course. What have you brought? How's it changed? I mean, like when you're on stage and wherever it is, the UK or Europe, whatever, do you reference back to Japan a lot?
Well, totally. And that's your espresso.
Espresso. Thank you.
I love this so much.
So that's a cold brew,
It's
right?
a cold brew.
Cold brew.
Mizudashi. It's so funny. The cold brew in these specialty coffee shops in Japan, it almost tastes like it's gone off, like slightly bitter.
Sour.
Sour, yeah.
In a good way.
In a good way, but never too far. And whenever I try to make it at home, it's never good enough. This, by the way, Yamaya, is like a kind of a
that's
cheap,
another huge liquor store, right?
Yeah.
You can't see from this side, but we go here often. Lots of good imported stuff here. You can't see, but on the other side is a better idea. It's huge.
It is, and of course this was kind of my closest thing to a supermarket.
So that doesn't sound like you ate very well.
A boozer, no.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you ate much.
Your
diet was filled. If
my diet was
shopping at a liquor store.
Beer and panko.
Yeah. Beer and panko.
There's another vintage clothing shop. They are everywhere.
Everywhere, vintage, and like you say, it's not cheap.
Not at
it's
all.
Old.
But no, I definitely reference Japan. People, I did a whole show called Pig in Japan, where I talked about what it's like to work in the media here, and of course foreign audiences, particularly those that have never been, find it fascinating. So I definitely built a small audience, just talking about, oh, look at this. This is good gyoza.
Oh, there you go.
This is decent gyoza.
Right. So Hakata style gyoza. We've already talked about this once on this live stream, but hitokuchi, bite size.
We'll translate this. It says if you eat gyoza, you become genkier, and genki means like happier,
stronger,
and you also have a smile on your face.
Right.
Loving that.
And it's true. And they cook it in a sort of a unique way, like in a round frying pan.
Yes,
right?
and they add a little bit of
an iron frying
corn. Is it cornstarch? Katakuriko? No, katakuriko, something like that, mixed with water to create the kind of crust.
Right. Okay. All right. It is crispy. Usually very crispy. Well, we're going to come up to. Speaking of which, actually, Emiko and I, we just had. This is also quite cool too. This little parking lot, half-size parking lot for. You ever go to the fruit shakes to this place here?
Well, funnily enough, after the show on Saturday, a bunch of us went for drinks here.
Okay, look at the size of the door here.
I genuinely barely fit.
Go ahead. You stay there.
But this is to scale.
Yeah, very much to scale.
But this is what I mean. These bars, you just don't get this in the UK because
no one
never get a
would think
license.
no one would think, at best it would be like that bicycle parking lot at best, but this is a really cool bar here which does specialize, at least way back in the day, in fruit cocktails. I guess they have other drinks too. Yoji ね。Yeah. Yoji. Yoji-san までいるでしょうね。I did a report on this a long time ago.
It's absurd. And everything. So, we used to get branded t-shirts for our staff. Right. We'd get them done up here, which is like, all they've got is enough space for a t-shirt printer.
Oh wow, that's still there.
I'm not sure if you can see.
Yeah, I can see that's a t-shirt printer.
But
it says it's open.
It's just marvelous how dense. Basically there's a whole little ecosystem in just these couple of streets, and that's what I loved about living here. And it's just the antithesis. It's the opposite way of going to a strip mall and and living your life.
Yeah, no. What's a village? Yeah, right? You really have.
Jack O'Neill says, "How difficult was it for you as a gaijin to rent in Fukuoka?" Oh God. Right. Well, I got a story about this.
Okay. Well, let's go for it. Go for it. We have coffees.
It's really hard. Thankfully, I made enough Japanese friends that I'd kind of they'd vouch for me, or if I needed a Kennedy, the person to like underwrite a contract, they would. One apartment I got was even in a friend's name, just because it was easier. So yeah, but
there's ways to do
I know so many people that are just hanging on by a thread here. So it is difficult. What I would say though is, find the right estate agent, because if you go to one of the bigger estate agents, they're not really that invested. They don't really care. But I actually made friends with an estate agent who used to come to our shows. She was really cool. Okay. She did say something a bit weird. She said.
Of course, there's got to be a story, a backstory.
So what happened was, so she said, "Oh, I've proposed you to the owner."
Okay.
And he said normally he wouldn't rent to a gaijin, and that happens a lot. They just no gaijin rule.
Okay.
But he says normally he wouldn't rent a gaijin, but Ollie's a good one, so it's okay, right? And the analogy I then made on stage that night, which is it's like a girl saying to me, I don't normally go for fat guys, but you'll do. It's like, hang on a minute. On the one hand, I'm delighted for the date. On the other hand, do we need to start with that first part? Right?
So yeah, kind of mixed feelings on that.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, Ollie, you speak Japanese and you're very polite and you're very reliable. Right. But I would say all the stuff like, wearing a suit and putting on your best Japanese, it can tip you. It shouldn't be the case. But it can tip you over.
If you're on the other side, though, you're looking for security, right? They're taking a risk by renting their property out to somebody.
Well, exactly.
They want to have that kind of secured. So, I don't know. It shouldn't be based on race, but it should be look like you're going to pay the rent and not be more trouble than you're worth.
Also all the little things like saying I was from Kyushu University, that helps.
Oh, I bet that does,
Which way would you like to go? This way or this way?
Well, it's up to you, and I'm looking for a place to toss this paper cup if there is.
You can just put it on the street, it's fine.
ほら、ダメの外国人だよ。しないよ、そんなこと。
Little joke there.
Yeah, ダメ。
Let's go down this way and back on
of course. Yeah, it doesn't matter really where we go. All right, we got about 30 people watching. That's great. Once again, I'm with Ollie Horn, comedian Ollie Horn, who is in Fukuoka just for a few days.
This is new.
During his tour.
This used to be a coffee roastery, I think.
Yeah. No, that's coming up, I think.
Oh, is it?
Coffee roaster's coming up.
Oh, you're right.
Where you have you choose the beans, right? And they roast on the spot. Is that
so this is
something like that.
Yeah, you're right. I made a mistake. It is this place. This is Nishinaya, and they
you have a great memory.
So this is Nishiana Koki, and they claim that the reason that they do the roasting in houses, their beans can then last forever. Because unroasted beans last a very, very long time.
Okay. All right.
Once you roast beans, you start to lose quality. So that's why they're always vacuum packed. But I mean, just take a smell.
Yeah. Oh wow.
It is.
I don't remember.
入っていいですか？
こんにちは。ちょっと入っていいですか？カメラでもいい？すごい。すいません、失礼します。
すごい匂いがするね。
生豆を選んでこの場で焙煎する。この機械で。最低のロットあるんですか？最低。100 gram から。で、値段はここに書いてある値段そのままですか？焙煎量はない？入ってますね。So you choose your raw coffee beans from all over the world. He's got stuff from all over the world. And the listed here includes the roasting fee. And they do the roasting on the spot. その焙煎はだいたいどのぐらい時間かかるんですか？ Only 4 minutes? 4 minutes. 早い。すごいね。
これも大変おすすめします。いつも買ってました。This is
Japanese。昔のお客さん、今久しぶりに。
この辺に住んでます。だいぶ前にこちらに住んでて。これ超懐かしいんですよ。This is in Japanese it's mizudashi, which means water, but it's a way of creating iced coffee without making it hot. So そうですね。そのまま
水出し。
お水に入れて、はい。
ポット入れてね。
で、ちょっと説明していただけますか？日本語でも大丈夫です。
大きい声で、大きい声で。
水を冷やすクーラーに入れて割りない。
So you put this in cold water overnight, and the next morning you have this very sweet.
So it's overnight.
Yeah, it is overnight.
Okay, overnight.
で、普通のアイスコーヒーもなんて言えばいい？もう甘くてなんて言えばいいですね。Bitter.
Yeah.
But it's what's this? It's this.
そうそう、水出し。ごめん、すみません。違う途中で別のところで買っちゃったんです。
I might.
すみません。また行きます。
I need to buy this.
Oh, you want to buy it? Okay, go buy it. Go ahead.
May I? よろしいですか？
買っちゃおう。買いたい。
買いたいです。はい。現金のみですか？まだ this is also a cash only place.
Oh, great, nice. I wonder if he minds if I hope he's not going to mind if I make it easier on the live stream. So we got a question for you, Ollie, from what's it? SBYU. Anyways, are you working full time as a comedian? We'll do that after. We'll do the question after.
2020円からでお願いします。はい、どうも。嬉しい。
買っちゃったね。
はい、ありがとうございます。
すみません、突然で失礼します。すみません。ありがとう。すみません。
We got the treatment, didn't we?
Yeah, nice. Hey, Ollie, we've got a question about comedy. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, this is, what is it? SBYU 1231. Question for Ollie. Are you working full-time as a comedian or doing other work on the side as well?
Yeah, I do other work. So as well as doing stand-up, I also...
hang on a second. Let me put this on the answer on camera.
Yeah.
Here.
So as well as doing comedy, so I spend most of my time doing stand-up, but I also do some presenting and hosting.
Okay.
Which
that's not the kind of hosting they do in Japan, right?
No, that's quite different. Yeah. I would do that. I
just have to be clear.
Hey, if I could, I would. And I also do some production as well. So I help to produce.
Production? You mean like producing shows?
Yeah. So comedy shows. Yeah. So things like panel shows. And format shows. So we
okay, but that's still comedy. So I think this person's asking: is or do you make a living?
Yeah.
Solely out of comedy?
Right now I'm deep in the comedy world.
That's great.
And it's there's a cat cafe here. This place is this is where Cheers is, by the way.
Oh, that's right. We just walked by Cheers. So we're going off topic here, but up there is the club that. Ollie had his show on. Was it Saturday night?
Saturday night, yeah.
Saturday night that we saw. That was cool.
But I mean, I used to. So my brief history is came to Japan as a researcher, started a company at roughly the same time, moved into entertainment where here I was doing kind of telly and radio stuff, then starting doing stand-up. It just takes a long time to start earning money as a stand-up. And then sold my company in 2019. Then more or less went full-time as a stand-up around then, and then during the pandemic, kind of dicked around, did my podcast and all that kind of stuff, and now I'm doing mainly stand-up, but also I've got my production company, and just about getting by.
Yeah, good. No, that's great. That's good. Thank you for the question. And,
but
that's very admirable. Actually, not just over the pandemic from before, but I watch a lot of stand-up on YouTube and so forth, and podcasts and things like that by comedians with other comedians, and it's not an easy life, is it?
No, and
it's not.
You can't really be a full-time English language stand-up in Japan. I think that would be impossible. There's not enough work.
Right.
But so, I mean, even to be honest, Japanese stand-ups, they make so little money. I mean, I remember being friends with some Yoshimoto comedians.
Yeah,
Yoshimoto is
top.
the big entertainment agency, and they were earning something like 30 or 40,000 yen a month. After their agency takes the, so they were literally sharing like a 25,000 yen a month apartment. You can imagine what they look like. It's very, very unglamorous. But when you reach the top, there's in the Japanese entertainment industry, the sky's the limit with how much money you can earn. These people are charging $60, $70 a ticket, and they're selling towels for $50. They really rake it in.
Right.
Atsugiri Jason's never gonna have to worry about money ever again in his life.
Yeah.
But I never reached those dizzying heights.
Yeah, there are a few foreigners in the talento gyokai in Japan who seem to be doing well, but it's really just a handful, isn't it? Not easy.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm hugely grateful to a guy called Bobby Judah, who actually you introduced me to back in the day.
Yes, that's right.
So he really took me under his wing, and kind of showed me that if you want to make any money in the Japanese entertainment industry, you've got to be getting these regular jobs. So he had a lot of. This is a nice steak place.
Red Rock. I've not been in there.
Yeah, it's not bad. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's it's very big portions. They do a roast beef don, which has loads of beef on it. It's very nice. Yeah, so it's kind of regular work. If you're doing the radio every single, have a TV show where they guarantee you 4 gigs a month. You can earn a living. But no, I mainly work some of the comedy clubs in the UK, and then I work festivals, and then I tour. And you'd be surprised, you can actually make money touring if you get good numbers.
For sure. Dimmy DM's watching. He's saying, "Where are we now? We're in Daimyo."
Yeah, still in Daimyo. Specifically, it says on the lamppost here, we're in Daimyo. It says "Koko wa Daimyo Ichome." So
Konya-machi でしょ?
Yeah.
Konya-machi.
Heading to
exactly
Nishidori.
Where we are. We're working our way back to Nishidori. That's the Nakamura hair salon, which a lot of foreigners go to. But this is the sweet shop, the Wagashi, on the corner. It looks like it's closed today. We could have got, maybe if it's open, we can get a manju. It's closed.
Well, here's another
old style.
This Real McCoy's was one of the earliest second-hand clothes shops.
Okay, on the street.
On the street. Actually, we can walk down here because I'll show you the more lamentable part of the change. Because you've got shops like this.
Right.
This is the sweet
Wagashi
shop.
Sweet shop.
I hope it's not closed permanently.
Oh no, it's not. No, it's not. It was open a couple of days ago. Yeah.
This place used to have stuff going on.
Yeah, it had a gallery. It was a gallery. Yeah, it's I think that closed over. It's now these repurposed as a shop here.
I don't know if it's still going, but 2 blocks away there was a discount fruit and veg shop, which I've got no doubt has been turned into turned into a second-hand clothes shop. Here on the corner was the most incredible butchers.
Incredible what?
Butchers. Nikoya-san.
A butcher shop?
Yeah.
Really, on the corner? Oh,
it was.
Yes.
I've forgotten the name of it.
But I live here, and I get so used to it. Things disappear.
Well,
so
it was
often.
Here, wasn't it? Or maybe on.
I think it was
it was further down.
Yes, further down.
Let's walk up this street.
Okay.
It's quite
And
interesting.
I want to talk about gyoza. Emiko and I came. Of course, this is a Fukuoka classic, Tenjin. Did you ever go in here? Tenjin?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, it's delicious. So this is the same street we've just walked down. This is the gym and
literally
the
going
shop.
in a circle.
This was newly built just when I left.
Oh, really?
This is one of these other concept hotels, they call them. So this is a hotel with a bookshop. What will they think of next? But look, this is how the town would have been back in the day. You'd think at some point you would just replace these cones, wouldn't you? But not these heroes. This is
true.
Anyway, my point is this you can get the sense this really was where people lived. You've got the post office and JP Bank, which I would say give it another 2 or 3 years, it's gone. You've got this city-run care plaza.
Well, that's is that for the aged?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good thing to have, but like you said, there's probably just so
and they're
few people.
They'll eventually die. There's no new people moving here.
No.
And
this has become an entertainment zone. Here's again, this is the Korean chicken takeout, fried chicken.
If this was here when I was I would have needed.
You'd be lined up.
I would have needed an extension belt on my flight home. My goodness.
Yeah. Oh, since the half hour since we came down this street, already packed.
But yeah, this has now become a shoe shop.
Right, this was a butcher shop,
But
wasn't it?
it was run by the most lovely old couple.
Oh, I remember.
And within a matter of weeks of regular patronage, they remembered me. And every time I'd go and buy something, they'd throw a little extra in, and they'd talk about, you know, don't buy this pork. We get this from these. You know, everything had a story. They were lovely. And,
That's great.
And the writing was on the wall, right? When stuff like this opens, Alice on Wednesday, a shop which you've got to like do an assault course to get through.
And a national chain. These are not local shops.
Yeah, exactly.
These are now, but some of these, this is still, this is very local. This is run by, I believe, some hairdressers as well, but they have a cafe on the ground floor. Cat and Fish, very cool.
There's also
very cool renovation.
There's a good Thai place as well,
There
right?
is. It's still there.
That's good.
Yeah.
Honestly, loads of the restaurants. I mean, like, I don't want to downplay. Daimyo is wonderful, and you know you could, you should absolutely get a hotel in Daimyo and spend 2 or 3 days eating around the clock. You know, because there's still places open here till 5, 6 a.m.
Do you want to head to a different area? Do you want to check out Oyafko? That's sort of your
great idea.
I know you have
final recommendation.
Time.
These chicken wings are lovely.
Where?
This place here.
Doko? Kore?
Yeah.
That's fairly new. I'm surprised. I guess you've come back in the meantime.
No, this yeah.
Didn't know that. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Ollie, no, you know what? Let me check. You watch the time here. It's just 5 now.
We got half an hour. We got half an hour.
All right. Okay. Well, let's keep going. If you're good for time, I am.
Yeah. Let's head to Yafko. But you can see, right? You know, it's
straight ahead. Just look at this street. Look how things have changed. That huge building. That's where we started. That's where the Ritz. Oops. Let me. Yeah, this building, this big glass building here, is where we started the live stream.
There was a question. What did you do?
Oh yes.
Let's just walk to the radio station.
All right, let's go through here then.
Yeah.
Let's go through here.
We need to get to Celeria Plaza.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go through here.
And actually, it's funny when I would be on at 11 a.m. and have a meeting at 10 a.m. If I overslept, I could dart it down the street on my bike in a matter of minutes. This is a WeWork. Again, this shows the changing character of the place.
Right.
This is
international co-working.
Yeah.
Very trendy. Very.
That opened.
Metropolitan.
Opened just as I was leaving, I think.
Yeah. But again, from local shops to national or domestic or international shops, brands.
Even more.
But again, you're right. All this vintage clothing just everywhere.
It's absurd. Someone's got to be buying the new clothes.
Wow. Did you see anything you like, Ollie?
I was
going to say, it was your birthday. I might
fedora hat. I thought you'd never ask.
Get some costumes here. Hey, for your stand-up, do you ever dress? Do you ever do? Do you have any gimmicks or do you have any?
I've got the gimmicks on that poster.
Oh right.
So there's that picture of me is about as far as it goes.
I got a Hooters cap.
Oh God.
That's a Hooters cap. Let's get that on you.
But this is $50 US.
Wow. It's not even official.
No.
It doesn't even look official.
It wouldn't even surprise me if these were made to order. This is $6,000 US. I mean, it's like,
that is expensive,
live your.
But these ropes, these SNF ropes are only 638.
It's yeah, okay. It's quite the economy. It's quite remarkable.
Hey.
But yeah, look, Daimyo is a really wonderful place, and I think the year I spent living here, because I moved, I started off living a long way away. Then I lived in Hakozaki. Then I lived here in Daimyo. Then my last stint was Koen, which was a bit of an upgrade. That was a really nice apartment, and it was absolutely gorgeous.
That's a great location.
But it was when I was living there that I thought, right, I'm leaving Japan. So I do think, on balance, living in Daimyo was the best. It was.
Oh really?
I mean,
but
Japanese people would always say it's not the best place to live because.
It's not a place to have a family. It's not a place. It's not a good school district anymore.
No.
It's,
well, they used to be an elementary school, which has now been turned into a luxury hotel.
And you're doing.
And you're young and good looking.
Yeah, and doing stand up in the
That's right,
like a talento, ne?
Yeah.
So, you know.
And also, like, people would say things like, "Oh, but there's no public transport. There's no subway."
You don't need it. Just walk.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
Or
We're going to be at Fukuoka Station in 3 minutes. Not even that. We're coming up to Nishidori now. This is the main drag. So yeah, why don't we cut through here? We'll go through Keigo. Oh, Keigo Koen
Oh, cool.
changed a lot, and I'm sure you haven't seen that. It's really new. Let's go.
All of these luxury shops still seem to be intact.
Yeah. Oh, we got the Apple stores now up there. Might have been on the corner when you were here.
Yes, it was. It was there.
It's up there now.
Okay.
Over there, but it's still the Apple store.
I've got a good story about the Apple store.
Okay.
My Mac was broken, and my Apple Care had basically just expired.
Okay.
But after writing down my name, the guy that was serving me started to get a little bit flustered, and he was like, "Ollie Horn." I went, "Yes, that's right." And he went, "Okay," and his brain was ticking. Basically, his father was one of the seniors at Saga TV who I used to work for.
Ah. Okay.
And all of a sudden, I got the white gloves treatment. And so
recognized.
Well, this is the thing. It wasn't like I was recognized. It was just like on a technicality that his dad must have played the show or something.
Okay.
But yeah, very, very seldom did I get recognized. I'd often walk around town with Bobby. He'd get recognized.
Oh yeah. Handsome Bobby.
That's right.
Yeah.
One time I got recognized, he didn't, and that wasn't a good day for him. But no, I thought this is the life I want. You know, I never have to buy Apple Care again. I've just got to be on TV. It was wonderful.
So
that's new. The alley.
That's where is
the alley? That wasn't there.
Yeah, and that's the famous green building.
A really
nice.
lovely lunch place. Which if I made a list of Fukuoka recommendations, this would go on it.
Whoa. Okay.
This place, Grand Hours. It's really good. I mean, look, okay, well, it's obviously changed a bit.
Yeah, they change all the time here. But they have a lunch, do they?
So what they used to do, and maybe they still do it.
Too.
Yeah, they do. It's a lovely space. They used to have a lunch kind of buffet style thing where you get a main and there was a salad bar and
I love a buffet.
And it was very reasonably priced. I used to go here quite often. Anyway, to answer the question, the radio I did there's a local station called Love FM.
Yes.
Which again, my friend Bobby was a DJ on. He used to do a weekly show, and I was never really in the studio. I was occasionally in the studio.
You were the roving reporter.
I was a roving reporter, so I used to do 2 shifts. I'd do the Saturday 11 o'clock slot and the Saturday 1 o'clock slot. And looking back, I mean, I must have had this insane confidence because I was doing live reporting on Japanese festivals and stuff.
Right. Yes, I remember at Sunset Live. Well, you interviewed me, I think, at Sunset Live. We met there, anyways.
Yeah, and all the odds are kind of stacked against you because in order to dial into the studio, they essentially use a phone. You know, that's the technology.
Yeah,
it's a mixing desk plugged into. So the quality that you hear in your ear is really poor, and so already if you've got weak Japanese listening skills, it's hard.
Yeah, bow.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget the bow.
But
look at this. Oh, sorry,
this is brand new, isn't
it? Very new. And this is owned by the Shrine. This is on the Shrine. We're in Keigo Shrine. We're going to show you Solera Plaza. We're going to go to Love FM, which is what we're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, so I used to go to a place and live report, and they'd give me a script, which I would have to, write down the furigana, write down the pronunciation of words I didn't know, and then occasionally I'd stop people on the street and interview them. But it was how I learned to speak Japanese, I think. It was such a good training.
Well, you're under pressure, no doubt.
Yeah.
So this has really changed a lot, right? I mean, it's much more of the Shrine building. It's really, really changed a lot.
It's very beautiful. People do get married and stuff here, don't they?
Of course, yeah. And they have the
there's another place to wash.
They do. Not to wash your shoes. It's not to wash your feet. It's to relax.
Well,
to relax. It's not to wash.
It is absurd, though, isn't it? You got this huge commercial train station, and then
it's closed today. But this is a foot bath, hot spring foot bath. I don't know if it's actually hot spring, but it's definitely hot water. And we're coming up to Keigo Koen. That was Keigo Shrine, and we're coming to Keigo Koen. And Ollie, I worked at Love FM for many, many years, since the very beginning. And still I'm on once a week. In fact, I'm on next week. I'll probably talk about this.
I think I might have come on your show once. or at least I vaguely remember.
Maybe, yeah.
It's believable. I remember us being in the studio together at some point.
Yeah, well then probably. Probably. Yeah.
Solaria Plaza.
So let's bring back some memories.
Oh, totally. I mean, look, this is what I mean, right?
You did a lot of your interviews back here, do you not?
Yeah, and also just imagine being in your early 20s.
You go ahead.
Yeah. But just imagine. This is what I mean about like free places to hang out.
Right.
You've got young people here.
Yeah.
Who can just sit and chill, and it's kept reasonably clean.
Yeah. Oh, it's very clean.
And you know, this is a wonderful place, and obviously this is all owned by Nishitetsu. Nishitetsu.
We've got this station building right behind us.
Yeah, and of course this is how. It's no secret that the Japanese public transport is good, mainly because the Japanese, more than any other country, have realised that wherever people are commuting, they're also spending money. So if you can own the buildings around a train station,
you've got the shoppers, you've got the traffic.
Exactly,
the shoppers, yeah.
And so, you know, there's supermarkets. There's a good supermarket literally underneath this bus terminal.
Oh, yeah.
There's really good restaurants here. Actually, there's some really fantastic ones. And so Nishitetsu, you know, if you look at their P&L, this is where they're making. This is where they're making their money.
Shopping and real estate, and hotels. There's a Solaria Hotel as well.
This place is called the City Bakery. If you put it into katakana, it's the Shitty Bakery.
It's excellent. It's one of my faves. Yeah,
it is
the
good.
City Bakery, but that's true. Unfortunately, in katakana, it could
it's the
be
same,
mispronounced.
It's the same for Fukuoka. It was.
Telling me, Fukuoka Shitty Bank.
You're telling me can't get a stable connection for love nor money.
Okay, so that's good.
This is Love FM.
So we're outside the studio for Love FM 76.1, and Ollie's worked there. I've worked there, still on once a month or so, and this is during a live broadcast.
You can tell this guy's one of the pros because he's brought his own earphones. You know, honestly, people would always pull rank. I always noticed the more experienced DJs would pull rank by bringing.
Well, they also had
bringing their own cans.
Cares of hygiene, probably too. Maybe who knows? Who knows?
Oh, that's maybe true. Maybe there's a Corona thing. No, but I do remember the old timers would make a point of slipping that out of the bag. But you know,
do you want to walk through here? It's okay to walk through.
Oh, look, he's giving a peace sign. That's cute. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, live radio is. It's a big. Great. I love it, and it's a big thing in Japan.
Yeah, it is.
And also something. If we can be serious for a moment.
Yes. Sure.
When the earthquake happened in. When was it? 2016.
Yes.
I want to say 2016. Terrible earthquake. Yeah. Wind-up radios were the only form of communication, and I remember getting the call from my producer saying, Ollie, can you come in and do the earthquake announcement? And I said, surely you've asked other people first. And they went, trust us, you're the last on the list. Like she genuinely said, we've gone through everyone, no one else can make it in, right? We're petrified.
And you live nearby.
Well,
you live in Daimyo.
That's the thing, I was just up the road, right?
Yeah, okay.
And so, you know, they were petrified that, like, my biggest ever listenership, I wouldn't miss the opportunity to crack a few gags. But I was like, no, obviously I'm going to take this seriously.
Serious,
but it was really quite humbling. So what they do is they've got this basically this laminated folder with all of the like pre-record, you know, the ready-made scripts.
Right.
And it's basically like you're saying in English, there is news, you know, we bring you news of an earthquake. The earthquake is, and there's a blank, blank on the Richter scale. There have been blank known deaths and blank, and it's just really And you know, the further back in the script you go, the more serious the stuff is. But you know, I was having.
It's so helpful because with an earthquake, power is out, right? The internet's useless.
Yeah,
but a radio, if you have a radio that works as a battery or whatever,
exactly,
or a wind-up one,
and also phone networks go down as well.
Right, as well too. Ollie, the concept, the reason why Love FM exists, not only Love FM, but what's it in Tokyo? It's Nandata. Anyway, 76.1. All the international radio stations were started after the Kobe earthquake.
Yeah,
that was the impetus of it for this exact reason that you're talking about.
Yeah,
yeah. All right, so let's show people where we are. Believe it or not, some people are here for the tour and not just to listen to the story of Ollie, but...
Ollie, did you get a ribbing in Japan for being overweight? To us, I wasn't that fat living in Japan.
Yeah, hey, check out our interview. I was going to say, our interview with Ollie in 2014 on Fukuoka-now.com.
It's a different
Have you seen those photos?
Oh, probably I don't really want to.
No, you look great. You look great.
But no, I mean, to be honest, Japanese people do just call each other fat.
Yeah.
Like it's not really as much of a taboo.
More endearing. It's more like cute.
Give me 10 minutes.
Oh, he's sneaking off again.
Well, okay,
but you're traveling. You're all around the world. You've eaten McDonald's.
I've eaten McDonald's every single country,
every
baby.
Country.
Actually, one thing I will say, Japan, I've got basically nothing but good things to say.
Yeah.
But this McDonald's at 2 a.m. is one of the most grotesque sights you'll ever see.
I know.
It's
really?
You know, if you want the Japanese version of Carnage, go here.
Oh no. Okay, where are we going? We want to go to Oyafko. Do we have time to go to Oyafko?
Let's
because that's another.
Let's rush to Oyafko.
Yeah. Okay, we'll speed up the walking.
Okay. No, but I remember I used to do a joke about, like, you know, Nihon in Japan, デーブスペクターのような外国人タレントがいますが、僕はデーブスペクターと違ってただのデブです。So like I do these really stupid puns to address it. I used to have a nickname of Baymaxer, Big Hero, because it's just a fat white thing. But no, I mean, to be honest.
Well, in your act that I saw on Saturday, on your current tour, anyways.
I talked about putting on weight. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I said during COVID, I went up a shoe size.
Modest of you. Modest of you.
It's not ideal.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, and you can just see the difference, right? Daimyo all being buildings generally below 2 or 3 floors.
Let's go this way because it's more interesting.
This is Fukuoka Bank. It's quite a stunning building.
Yeah, we're just talking. Oh, we were talking about Nippon City Bank, but that's Fukuoka Bank. Okay, we should catch this light, and then you can see some of the Tenjin Big Bang stuff going on.
Yeah.
If we can make this light, that'd be good.
Do you want to take a left here?
Yeah. And you can see that was Fukuoka Biru, and there was Tenjin Core, Tenjin Bibre, and the IMS building, gone. Oops, hang on. Change the lens there, And coming up on the right-hand side, that Mina Tenjin, of course you remember, but that's been totally renovated. In fact, these 2 buildings have been joined together. Was Tenjin North, and there was walls in between it. It was 2 different buildings, 2 different landlords. Now that's all one big building on to the right.
I'm not sure if there would be signal, but of course we're now. The Chikaga is the underground passage that connects. Well, quite a lot of Tenjin you can get from the what's it called? What's the other Tenjin station called?
Minami Tenjin.
Minami, so the South Tenjin station.
Yes.
Should we go to Oyafko this way so we can walk past?
Whatever way you like.
Then we can.
I didn't know there was because there was your favorite ramen spot was there.
We've got Shinshin down there, which is
okay. All right, up to you. I'll follow you.
My favorite.
And you watch the time because
I've just got good news. I received an email to say that the meeting I was supposed to go to has been pushed back.
Pushed back. Okay.
So we're actually doing fine for time.
Okay.
This place is obviously pretty famous.
Where are you pointing to?
The Mentaiko place.
Oh, of course, yeah, Fukuoka, ne? Fukuoka is one of was the pioneer of the Mentaiko shops. Spicy cod roe, right?
I'm absolutely not a fan.
You're not? I love it.
No.
It's not good for the gout, though.
Do you know a lot of the Fukuoka specialities, when you think about them, are not. A lot of it is like offal and
not the healthiest. Ramen.
This manga cafe has Seiwa ni natta a few times.
Which?
There's Popeye.
Popeye
on the corner.
Okay.
So that's a place
Internet cafe.
Basically,
you spend some nights there. Is that
in order to get back to my.
You're admitting.
Yeah. So in order to get back to my student accommodation, the taxi would be about 1,500 yen. Okay. Whereas I could stay there for 800. Okay. So I could have dinner and stay there
and catch some entertainment too.
Yeah.
So you could do that.
I remember they had free ice cream. I thought, what is this place?
Free ice cream.
Yeah.
That would attract the younger crowd. Up to you. We're going to get back to. We're going to cross the old Fukuoka Now office as well too.
Yeah, of course. That's not
way,
far from Shinshin, was it?
I'm following you. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. I want to go this way because I want to show you the viewers Nanak.
Ah, yes.
Because that's
the first, and this is a fact, the first ever independent Indian.
Who owns it?
Gurmeet Singh.
Singh Sang. Singh Sang. He was one of the original importers of Indian spice across the country. So his influence is quite incredible.
At their peak, they had brothers as a family business.
Oh, it was huge.
And they had at least, well, I'm going to say certainly 20 shops. Probably.
It's true. Depending on what he imported, that necessarily changed the nature of Indian food in Japan. You know, because
they really set the mold of because actually, I'm quite honest, until very recently, most Indian restaurants, it's just like going to Nanak. You're going to a different Nanak with a different name. It seemed like, I don't know, the menus are almost all the same everywhere. But recently now there's South Indian food here.
Yeah.
And
what I noticed was a lot of Nepalese families set up Indian restaurants.
Yeah. Okay, what we're talking about, the green awning straight ahead on the corner, this is the first shop of Nanak and still in business. This must be, it has to be 30 years for sure, because before I'm guessing 35, 40 years. We're talking about this Indian restaurant up here, Nanak. Let's go up to the front.
Do you reckon we can go in?
I'm guessing 40 years. Which, they even said, hey, he says Kyushu's oldest. I didn't know that.
Should we go in? But like, doesn't this just look 80s?
Yeah,
there's something about like
80s, 70s maybe even. Yeah, this is the old style Japanese. Hey, you want to go up?
I don't think it'll be open now, will it?
No, probably not open.
And their naans are fantastic.
They are. That's the original. Certainly in Kyushu and very early in all of Japan.
Also,
in Western Japan.
Also, this guy.
Yes.
He knew how to do business because he. Whenever I wanted to do some kind of like student party or Gokon style event,
right?
I'd say to him, just cut us a deal.
Okay.
You know, and he'd say, all right, 2,000 yen all in. You know, like he
quick to the point, right?
Very cool guy.
Okay, hang on a second, Ollie. Let me make sure people know we're on Oyafko Street, Oyafko Dori, the street of naughty children, right? Disobedient children. Disobedient children.
It depends on the kanji. It depends on the kanji you use, and there was a big debate, right?
They changed it once, and they changed back.
That's right.
Wait, Ollie, what about the fountain? You know the story about this fountain, do you? If you don't, I'll tell you.
Well, do you know what?
Do you know?
I do, because I had to talk about it for a telly show.
Oh, right.
But you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I don't know.
Well, I don't know the whole story, but basically this looks like a water fountain. Its purpose, this is back in the Maria Street days, the disco era, when tons of people were, this is a huge entertainment zone here. Anyways, this is a throw-up bar. It is designed for people who had too much to drink. Instead of throwing up on the sidewalk, that they would throw up here and they can flush it down with the water there. I don't know does it still work? It still works. Not much water coming out. But that's the story of that.
But this, I don't know if that's true. Is that true?
It is true. No, I know the landlord. I know who built it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then also there's, I'm not going to get into it now, but there's also something else very bizarre, very interesting.
Do you know what? Something we walked past.
Steven Seagal.
Right.
I saw him. I came with him. I followed him here. There's a little shrine back there, like a Chinese-style shrine. Who knows, Kung Fu, all that. He came here at the invitation of this landlord.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's true story.
Okay, because I know that a lot of the landlords here have a problem with people pissing, and we actually missed back in Diamond.
Right.
On the street where I lived, we just walked past it. I should have shown you. Uh-huh. There's like a shrine of all the guys that have pissed on the street, because there's very clear CCTV.
Okay.
That takes pictures of them, and they print them out and laminate them. And now it seems like it's almost a point of pride
to shame them. Now it's pride
because it's like shame. you made the list. Oh, yeah, ridiculous. So, Oyafko Dori used to be, and this was obviously before my time, 14.
Okay.
Back in the day, this was the hangout spot in Fukuoka, and I remember I was friends online friends from a long time ago with a reggae singer. Quite a famous one, Japanese reggae singer.
Okay.
And I remember my first week in Japan, she was on a national tour, and she did her show above this Lawson, and there was a very
DJ
happening
bar. Yeah, there was some kind of a
and almost
we're talking
almost
about
two.
Lawson's there.
Yeah,
there's the Lawsons. What's the name of that? There's a club up there. It just looks like a regular building.
But after 2 or 3 months that closed, and there's kind of a history of that in the street that you know, all the nightlife seems to be slowly moving to
moving up to Nishidori, ne?
Yeah, should we the old CC Cafe was?
Definitely. We're Fukuoka Comedy, the first venue where it got its start, where Ollie started Fukuoka Comedy.
So the
was second floor, right?
So these were apartments. So this ground floor was a bar,
right?
And this was an apartment building. This was an apartment building. So it was
second or third floor.
Both. So both were apartment buildings.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so CC Cafe, when Chuck renovated it at the end of 2013, would literally use the shower room to store his booze.
Right.
You know, it was a real.
Oh, it was a real apartment. It was
real rough and ready place.
Yeah.
Very cheap rent. This screen wasn't there. That's for sure. But anyway,
I want to get away from the music there. Yeah,
we could fit about 45 people in, and you had places like the Craig and Porter, which is a long-established foreigner-friendly
with
bar.
Michael's place there. And actually, let's go down this street here. We got someone from Malaysia saying hello to you.
Oh, cool.
Hello, Ollie, joining from Malaysia.
Oh, wonderful.
That's,
I think that might be Lukman. That may be
friend of yours?
Former Japan by River Cruise video editor.
Oh.
Yeah, he speaks Japanese.
All right. Well, where do you want? It's your walk.
What we can do is I want to show you M8.
Okay.
Because that's where we moved. Yeah. I went for a drink last night. So these.
Someone's asking. We're on Oyafukodori, which is an extension of Nishidori. Yes.
So this.
And it's where
this used to be a kind of a nightclub. It's turned into more of a bar.
Right.
This used to be the home of Comedy Fukuoka for
M8. That's right.
Stands for Mohicanate because the owner Jody has a big Mohican.
Yeah.
But this used to be a lovely comedy venue, and Jody.
I like this. It's got like no stupid people beyond this point.
It's a very Jody thing to do.
Does that work?
I don't know. He also used to have a nightclub up here as well.
Right.
Which was on the 5th floor, which I think Jody still owns, but he's now changed the name.
Right.
It used to be called Fubar.
Fubar, that's anyway, right. And now Galveston, that's country western style.
I think he might be 5th floor.
Right. Okay.
But anyway,
this Fubar, that's where Fubar was.
And something that people
Jody's right. 2 dogs.
And something people I think understand about Japan compared to other countries is you should always look up that generally nightclubs country are on first floor, ground floor.
That's right.
Whereas you know you'd be surprised some of the best restaurants, some of the best nightclubs are randomly on the higher floors, on the 5th floor. Yeah. You really would have no idea unless you knew.
Right. Right.
And of course that elevator's so fun because if you're on a night out,
tiny.
You will bump into someone on that elevator and you will make a friend. Yeah, so 2 dogs does really wonderful burgers.
A bit of a sports bar, definitely a sports bar.
Yeah.
And pub.
We've almost. There was another venue we used to do comedy at called
Off Broadway was up there. It's moved. I believe, a couple of streets down here.
So this, from what I've been told, I didn't really party that much further down here, but there were loads of clubs, even all the way down the end of the street.
And live music. When you go further, turn left at that lights there, and a lot of live houses are there. This funky ramen shop there.
We used to take
Voodoo Lounge. Well, Voodoo Lounge is now here, I think. And there's a bunch of clubs. Inside dance clubs in this building.
And some of these clubs are enormous, by the way.
And all that.
Yeah, I mean, they're surprisingly big. This looks big. Some of these buildings have such character that you can just tell that these were built at a time when money was no object, and you had to be distinctive.
In here, but the I'm blanking out. Hang on a second. Gekijo. Amitsu Hime. Amitsu Hime is the, I guess, gotta be careful these days. Cross-dressers, I would think, is a accepted terminology. Anyways, that kind of show bar. Full-on show theater.
This police box has their work cut out at night, don't they?
Yeah. So
I think there's another really interesting looking building down here.
There is Decadent Deluxe. Sure, Keith Flack.
Should we show that?
Yeah, we should. It's like a gaudy building.
Yeah. It is. It's very like
It's
Barcelona if it was going to pass through an AI. There used to be a wonderful. Do you know what? I've got a nice story up here. There's an izakaya at the end of the street where I brought a famous comedian from the UK, and the waitress happened to recognise me and happened to get really excited that I was there. And it happened so rarely. It happened at just the perfect time that this person who is, legitimately famous, got to witness someone going, "Are you Ollie Horn?" I was like, "Yes, I'm Ollie Horn." She went, "Oh, fantastic!"
So this is in front of someone who's legitimately
this is someone who's legitimately famous,
so.
But they got a false impression that everyone here knew me.
All right.
But it just happened that someone happened to watch the one or two programs I put out.
Josh and Tribe and Basic, other bars are there. I'm out of the bar scene, I must admit. I used to know everything that was going on everywhere here. Got some catching up to do, but these are the live houses here, some really good bands. In fact, I saw Joe Strummer play here. And I interviewed Joe Strummer before the show here, 1 year before
this place
he
is
left
new.
us.
Karage shop.
It is a cutting shop, but it's also like a hostel above it. Those are accommodations, or it was pre.
Look at all these.
But yeah,
posters.
classic. This is a classic live house. Some really good domestic and
something I will
bands.
say about Japan is these bands, they do just about make a living. Obviously, like any other country, being a jobbing musician or a lower tier artist of any form is hard. But people do spend money. People are spending minimum 7,000 yen. You can see the tickets here, 4,400 yen. People spend proper money to watch these bands.
Yes,
and
which is good.
Long may that continue.
Yeah. Okay. So here's this building that we said is like a hint of Barcelona going on here. And we're still at the DJ bar Keith Flack. It used to be Decadent Deluxe. Was a couple floors in Keith Flack. I went, and this is a true story. Was having drinks exactly with Bjork after a Bjork concert. Bjork and her band came here, and I was amongst the group of people that followed. こんにちは、すいません。ちょっと撮影してるんですけども大丈夫ですか？もう遊んでますね、みんなね。早いね。はい、楽しんでます。ありがとう。すごいこれかっこいいビルね。クラブね。皆さんもかっこいいですけどね。はい。今日は何かあるんですか？何のショー？Hair show. みんな美容師ですか？So their training is hairdressers. なんかできるんですか？これもオリさんがですね。
このままでいいということですかね。十分かっこいいということ？かっこいい？
もし何かするんであれば、これなんか良くするためになんか僕はもう完
璧よりも完璧ということ。
パームするんですか？パーム？本当？I
think they might be taking the piss.
What do you think? 今時間あるんですか？今ちょっと
これ生中継なんですよ。Facebook で。
そう。九州ライブです。世界表。後で見てください。
世界デビュー。
何かアピールしたい。どうぞ。あとは登録してください。はい。で皆さんはもうこれ美容師になって美容室で働いて将来的には独立する。もしかしたら海外で大会に出るんですか？頑張ってくださいね。日本の美容室は世界一ね。No.1 本当に best. See you guys. Bye bye.
So I guess we ought to translate for those that don't speak Japanese. That was just them affirming what an excellent job I did when I was on TV here between 2014 and 2018. You might have understood what they were saying, but they were like, we used to watch his shows.
Right.
We might have gone to. We can cut through here.
Of course we can. Yeah.
So they just had a hairdressing
event.
Event.
Maybe there's like a learning or being tested or something like that.
And they suggested that I might look good with a perm.
Man, the comedians.
You've made me conscious now.
Well, I'm sure they just want to have practice doing a perm.
That's right. Yeah. They were very much thinking about themselves.
Now, I think this is before your time in Fukuoka. Ollie, but on the second floor, on the corner here, there was a bar called, still Bingo Bingo's still here. Wow, Bingo Bingo's still here, but Due Bingo Love is still here as a bar.
What
on
is
the
it?
corner. It was tiny, but it was the hip sort of, I don't know. ちょっと遊ぶところかな.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to explain, but it was also quite a few international people went there as well too. It wasn't a full-on.
Isn't there a really good burger place down here?
You're thinking of that American one called.
And he has like one grill.
Right. What's his name? The Frisco.
Yes!
Frisco Burgers. We can go find. Do you want to go dig around? See if we find it.
That takes
Just
me
walk.
back.
Yeah, Frisco Burgers.
It was around here, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'll find it. I know where it is. I know it. It's near a lane.
This is another example of like a non-Japanese person deciding to do a thing and just do it. And
Right.
it's such a common story, and I love that about Japan, particularly about Fukuoka, whereas as we said, the startup costs are lower.
Right.
He wants to make burgers. He's not open all the time.
Nope.
You know, or just like that guy who had that cheesecake shop around the corner from here.
No, you're thinking of Matt. He just closed. Do you think of the American guy, Matt's Cheesecake?
Exactly. Wanted to.
He just closed about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
What a
You
shame!
missed
I would have
him,
bought one. All these rent-a-cars I could have taken.
All these. We were talking earlier in the live stream about the system of rent-a-cars.
It is amazing. You literally tap your card and and you're off.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I really love that about Japan. That this infrastructure where you can just rent a really small place, also not on a mad contract. You know, often commercial real estate, you're looking at 5 or 10 year deals. That's not always the case in Japan. You can take a place on a monthly basis.
Yeah, no, Fukuoka, I mean Kyushu. Tokyo may be a different story, but Kyushu, Fukuoka, still reasonable.
Never heard of Tokyo. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Not for me, thank you.
Not needed. I know where to. I'll take you to Frisco Burgers.
Okay, cool.
I hope it's open too. I haven't been there. I haven't been anywhere
I think
in years.
I've only ever been there once or twice, but again, it's the sort of place
It's legit.
where
It's like American garden grilled barbecue burgers from the 70s. Again, that would be.
Yeah,
from the 70s.
and it's where I would take the old foreign comedian.
No
who was-
blue cheese, no Roquefort dressing. No.
None of this woke nonsense.
You know,
That's what you're trying to say.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Good old fashioned. Before we got censored burgers.
Right.
What else?
Is that your Malaysian friend there?
Oh yeah, I think Yeah, that's great. Franco Burger is closed. Oh, someone says that it's closed.
Frisco?
Yeah.
Someone's saying it's close to Wednesday. We can still show it though. It's not too far. I'll show it. It's right here. Or maybe it's a bit further down there. And then there was wasn't there? Not Zaimaka, but there was another reggae bar up there. Was there not? Right. There's a Pakistani restaurant here. Or it says Indian food. That's Pakistani food. Things have changed. Despite all my years here, things change,
but we can't be boring old people and lament the change.
No, not at all. No. Frisco Burger.
This is another Hormon place. There's Hormon.
Barry Brand. I know who. Hey, Barry Brand. He's watching. Okay, Barry Brand he was the manager of AMC. Were you here in AMC theaters? The Cineplex. Maybe it's already passed. The first Cineplex, multiplex, whatever you call, theater in all of Japan opened in Canal City.
Okay.
Was the first in all of Japan, that concept of multiplex cinemas. This guy leaving a comment now.
People
Barry
like
Brand.
seeing this kind of stuff, don't they?
So this is the Hakatabe. Hakatabe is a style of wall in Fukuoka and Hakata. This is upcycled roof tiles. After the wars and battles in the Hakata area, this is an original style of walls.
And I think people are always surprised as to how new this shit is.
Right. Well, this got badly damaged.
Yeah.
In the earthquake.
This will be less than 100 years old.
And then rebuilt, because I used to live around here, and this actually, I remember these walls, they were in the earthquake that you talked about when you were on Love FM. These broke down.
Right.
Yeah, they broke down. It's kind of a shame. Anyways, we are.
Oh, something else that's cool that I don't know if exists
elsewhere. We're going to find this burger spot because I'm curious too.
These parking lots, I'm not sure how common they are abroad.
What kind of? Oh, elevator ones?
But yeah, I mean, it's a kind of an Italian Michael to you, right? But
Suddenly.
Sticking your car on one of those things and trusting a lift to take it to the top is...
Well, being able to drive them in.
It's quite
in Canada, people can't
faith.
Park as well as Japanese people. Out of necessity, don't have to. So where is the nightlife gone to now? I'm not the person
the night. Well, it seems that there's
Wait
been
a second. Have I gone too far? Wait
I think you have gone.
Have I gone too far?
Yeah, although we're not far here from a yakitori place.
Are you getting hungry?
I know what I'm having for dinner tonight. I'm going to try and get into that tempura place.
Tempura place. Now, it must be further. Wait a second. I'm getting spun around. No, something's changed. I know it's way back there. It's way back there. I know where we are. Yeah, it's definitely closer back to Oyafko.
All right.
So the nightlife. We don't have to go on this street.
The nightlife in Japan, right? Yeah. Sorry, in Fukuoka.
Yeah.
Basically, Oyafko is still great, and clearly, I mean, I don't know. I've been. But from what I can tell, Oyafko is still great, and that's where all the bigger nightclubs are. Mm-hmm. But these kind of smaller bars and the international bars, and places like, there's now a hub that's been opened. You've seen that? The
hub, like the
pub.
Yeah. Yes, I do. That's on Nishidori.
Exactly. They're not picking Oyafko anymore. They're picking more central Tenjin and Daimyo.
Right.
So I think if you're my age, which is 31, so late 20s, you want to be going Daimyo. If you're under 25, you probably want to be still going.
And if you're
Oyafko.
Over 30, Imaizumi.
You shouldn't go out. You should stay at home. know your place.
Imaizumi, or even why am I just blanking on names?
The nice bars are all around Hakata, by the way. If you want nice cocktails,
there are.
There's a couple of really good ones near Canal City, like lovely gin bars.
Yeah, some of Yakuin's a very good area now as well too. Yakuin, and why am I blanking on what's beside on the way to Canal City? I'm not good at this. I'm just blanking. I know these places so well.
Nakasu?
Yeah, no, on the closer to this side. Hariyoshi has some really cool.
I'm sure Nakasu's still bustling.
Yeah. Okay, we're coming up to where Frisco Burger is. So
sorry,
I didn't want to. We turned too close
track
here. Yeah. All right. Let's get the camera going.
But this is again so Fukuoka that you've got quite dense housing, right? All of these are apartments.
Oh yeah. Like here, it's down this.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
This is really old style, and some sudden naughty shops.
We've got Young Mate as well.
Exactly. You've got Young Mate, which is. But it's down here. Look at. Oh no, it's down this way. Whatever. Almost here, Frisco. This is the hamburger spot.
And it says cooked on coals.
Charcoal.
Yeah.
Charcoal grilled. This is a classic though. This dark alley, tiny shops.
And this is the reason all this is possible is because of zoning laws. That there's no special permits to change from what would have been residential into commercial.
No safety or fire.
This is a snack. Have we gone too far?
No, it's here. It's just shuttered.
Oh, I see.
Barry's correct. It's closed today. This is where Frisco would be there. But yeah, this is just. But we'll take a quick peek in here. But this is your typical sort of tiny little counter.
And this is the kind of place where if you pop in, and you're up for a good time. Yeah. You will have an amazing night.
You will have an amazing night. So I got a question. Jack's asking, Ollie, what's your craziest Fukuoka story?
Oh,
you gotta get a beer in him first to get that out.
I don't know. Have I got anything really?
Just one.
Oh my god! What did I do that was really crazy? We
can come back to
this. There's
this.
definitely stuff I don't want to broadcast.
Yeah. We're being recorded. Something cute.
Something cute.
No, it's nothing cute. Okay.
Look, I was here for a long time, so obviously, do you know what happens, right? And I think this is a lot of Japanese people who are watching this might relate. Mm-hmm. You end up growing up here. So I came here at the age of 21, 22, basically knowing nothing, right, about anything, about life. Never signed a rental agreement really in my life because in the UK I was in student accommodation and,
I bought my first washing machine in Japan. I remember buying a washing machine in my late 20s or something like that. I thought, I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually renting my first apartment was in Japan. I did very similar things. I broke my teeth, literally.
So I do think the crazy stuff is just like growing up the hard way. I used to do a joke about buying a washing machine.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, in Japanese, I used to say, I went to go buy my first washing machine.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure if I could install it myself. So I said to the Tenjin-san, "Jibunden dekimasu ka?" Jibunde echi dekimasu ka? Now the word I was looking for was sechi, meaning install.
Sechi,
but what I said was echi, meaning shack.
Yeah.
So I said to so this is true. I said to the guy, do you reckon I can shag this washing machine? And then in the joke, the guy goes, "Ganbareba dekiren janai desu ka?" If you try your best, I'm sure you could manage. And then I said, yeah, I'm just worried if I do it wrong, I'm gonna bicha everywhere. Bicha meaning the Japanese word for splash. Yeah, splash.
Didn't you want to take us by one of your favorite shops down that road?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Oh yeah, it's true. I was also gonna take out the rent on this place with a friend. We were gonna turn this into.
You're gonna take rent? Oh, as a shop?
Yeah, we were gonna because this had really cheap rent, and it's a fascinating little building.
All right.
And we were gonna turn it into a 24-hour cafe. But in the end, some Korean outfit took it over, but they obviously didn't last.
Okay, and Barry's back again. Red Brooklyn in the airport has a good burger. Okay, yeah.
Brooklyn. Yeah, I know Brooklyn.
No, it's Red Brooklyn. It's not Brooklyn. Brooklyn Parlor. That's really good. That's really good. And the Red Brooklyn. Yeah, I think that's. I know that's a butcher. That's actually a butcher shop.
Right. There's a couple of
cool.
decent. I've not been here before.
This is like a.
But this is showing how upmarket this place has come.
Yeah.
Before, do you know what this was?
Brother Deli. Here.
This was, if I'm not mistaken.
No, the live house is over here.
This was a wara wara. This was a wara wara. It was a cheap izakaya.
Yes, you're right.
And we used to go there after shows because it was cheap. Or it might have been
Early
this one.
Believer. No, this is Early. This is a live house. Early Believers. And this was the Fukuoka Now. One of the first Fukuoka Now office was on the second floor of this building. My office. We had the whole second floor. That was all Fukuoka Now. It was like Sesame Street. Didn't have this bar here, but it was like a red brick building. This is the first. The second ever Fukuoka Now office was in there. And that was a live house, Early Believers, very good live house there. Okay.
But a couple of these live houses, we were in talks to put on shows because live house, Japan doesn't have stand-up comedy clubs. So when we were putting on events in Japanese or English, we'd have to do them in either cafes and kind of upgrade their production, or do them in live houses, which were slightly overproduced venues.
Okay.
And live houses, obviously, their unit economics are a lot tougher. They would kind of need to make
guarantee,
it. Well, they'd need at least 2,000 yen per customer and about 70 or 80.
Right.
Which obviously, for our kind of events and the fickle gaijin population, we could never quite be sure. This is a family mart.
This was family arts everywhere, but this was a very important one to many people in this entertainment district. A lot of people had dinners here. And
it's also, can you see the entrance?
Yeah.
Like, you can barely get in. I'm not sure.
What do you mean?
The slope to get into this family mart
it's got like
is incredibly narrow. Yeah, it's very odd. I always thought it was odd. I always thought it was there to kind of trick drunk people.
Yeah, exactly. And this is, the names, there's a fantastic Zen temple in this entertainment district here.
Which you're allowed to go inside.
Oh, of course you are, yeah. I used to have lunch here.
This begins with at something.
Ankokuchi.
The peaceful country temple.
This is a very important Zen temple, working Zen temple, practicing. They have a couple times a year monks from all over Japan come and have what they call session.
Also at random times they're playing
music. This is unusual. Usually let's step up here and give a quick little look in there, but this is a beautiful, full-on big temple. Ankokuchi. Huh. Okay.
Cool. I just had a little stretch.
Were you? Okay. All right.
I'm still kind of running on empty. This past week I was in 4 countries in 4 days, and I'm not quite caught up on sleep.
What are you looking at?
Well, I'm just noticing this sign. So this sign's, very interesting. I learned the first radio report I ever did was on these things. You see this?
Okay, let me just show.
In Japanese, these are called Tenji Broku.
Tenji Broku, ne? And we're talking about these yellow bumpy lines on the street.
And these were reportedly invented by someone from Osaka.
Okay.
And I did a report. I don't know why, but my first report was on Tenji Block in Fukuoka.
That is very niche.
It's ridiculous.
They called in an expert.
Yes, I don't really know what the point of the report was. Anyway, it's one of those words that I obviously didn't know. I didn't know the words before the report, but now I did the report. The word, means something.
Right.
So I just noticed this sign starts with the words Tenji block, and I'm like, okay, tell me more.
Okay.
And then there's actually a description underneath Tenji block to explain to people what Tenji block means. But basically, this is a sign.
These raised, bumpy lines, which are to help people with impaired vision.
Exactly.
That's what it's for. People with impaired vision use their cane as a guide, and they can find their way.
And so what the sign's saying
here,
is,
though, is quite different. Yeah.
Well, what they're saying is, please don't line up on this Tenji block because it's obviously getting in the way.
Because we're in front of Shinshin, which is one of the most famous or popular chains of local ramen, right?
I don't know if it's that much of a chain. They've got one in Parco, haven't they?
I know they got in JR Hakata City. There's several now.
Oh, good.
In fact, but this is Honten. This is the main shop here.
So what I like about it is, I actually think for value for money, there's better ramen out there. Like I used to go to a place which was 300 yen ramen,
that's real Hakata
then
ramen.
100 yen for kaidama,
Right.
100 yen for chashu, then 100 yen for negi. I can never understand that. But this place, it's slightly more expensive, but two things are really distinctive.
Okay.
One, the noodles. They're a lot thinner.
Okay.
So normal ramen shops, the noodles are slightly more thick than this.
Okay.
And then the second distinctive thing is I think their pork, their chashu, is the most like, I hate the expression melt in your mouth, but basically
tender.
Yeah, it's almost like if you go to other ramen shops, the chashu has a real bite, whereas this one it almost breaks apart in the broth.
Right. Okay. So it's a tonkotsu.
This is tonkotsu. This is pork bone.
Hakata style pork bone broth.
And another thing is their hitokuchi gyoza.
They have here.
They have here, and what's interesting about them is they've got an almost liquid filling. So most gyozas are. They've got just like a hard meat filling.
Right.
These are almost like xiaolongbao in that they've got a kind of a soup-like consistency. Thank you. How does it feel to be welcome to Japan when you've lived here longer than he was born?
Probably than him, yeah. That's true. Well, he means well.
But anyway, I highly recommend going to Shinshin and getting a side of their gyoza as well.
So another izakaya, ne? Lots of izakaya. So Eric Zawa's ramen and gyoza. Yeah. Well, you can't go wrong. Hey, I just want to give a little PR announcement. Sure. On May 17th, I'm doing a very special live inside JR Hakata City. We're going to introduce about 5 or 6 local, very sort of well-known but really great. We're going to go to a gyoza place. We're going to go to izakaya. And all on the live stream. It's going to be, that's on May 17th, 6 p.m. This is going to be a very special Kyushu live. Mark it down. We'll announce it soon. Anyways, that's it.
Should we find an interesting place? Yeah. Should we find an interesting place to wrap up? Maybe we should wrap up right in the
City Hall?
Right in the thick of it, yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. Okay, that's right. We're good. We got a lot of people watching now. We got 35 people, 36 people watching.
This is a nice little spot actually.
You want to go? Okay. Anyone has any last minute questions, comments for Ollie? We're going to wrap up.
This bread shop, I think they have a second floor.
This is quite a.
It's a very upmarket bread shop. I love it. This is something about Japanese bakeries.
They have like there's something special here.
They used to have a morning buffet where you pay a set fee, and you can eat as much bread as you want in the morning, which is
very
dangerous.
Rich bread, very buttery, very rich.
It's insane.
As I remember.
They seem to
almost
not
like
do that.
Pastry like bread.
They've got these incredible. I mean, this stuff is delicious. They've got really nice kare pan.
Yeah. This is it. This is it here. This is sort of like a big donut. You cut it, and very rich. Anyways,
I'm a total sucker for Japanese bakeries.
Bakeries in Japan.
And you take a tray. You place what you want on the tray.
All right. Well, look, we're running out of time. What about where's a good place?
Well, let's head back to the City Hall.
What's that?
Head back to the City Hall. Sure. At the centre of the Big Bang project.
Yeah, let's do
Are we walking past an international bar on the way as well?
We just did, or it's closed. It's moved or closed.
Okay.
I think it's right. We almost went by there, or is it? I get confused. No, maybe it's right here. Maybe that's the stairways. I know it's gone now.
Has it?
Yeah, I believe it's. I think we did a live stream. Someone corrected. I think it was here. Yeah. This would have been the staircase. The international bar is Bolero. The international bar would have been up here Fukuoka's first gaijin bar. This is what you call it. You got a couple more comments in here. And the new book off store layout sucks too. Okay. Don't know what that's about. But we are back
I used to hang out here in Mina a lot because the buses that go towards Hakozaki and Kyudai all would go on this street.
That's right, by the big post office.
Exactly. So I would hang out. There would be a Starbucks on the ground floor.
Yeah, that's now in the basement.
Oh, is it? Okay. I remember that the staff would.
And the one we on a live stream about last week, we went in and covered like the opening of that building.
Oh,
the 1,400th location of KFC just opened there. 1,400.
What a milestone!
what a milestone!
That's ridiculous. I remember though
we should cross here. We want to go to the city hall.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm not sure if this is the thing you're supposed to say on broadcast, but I remember every single staff member who worked in that Starbucks on the ground floor was an absolute 10 out of 10. They used to do this system where you would buy a coffee and then bring the receipt back, and then you get another coffee.
Yeah,
maybe that system still goes.
Yeah, I don't know, but I remember that.
And I remember them always saying, "Oh, don't forget to come back and use your receipt." And I was thinking, absolutely, don't you worry about that.
Watanabe Dori, ne? It's looking straight down. Let me just show that to the people.
See the Nishitetsu sign at the top, that little blue logo.
Right. Oh, can't do
you
that
can't
on the
zoom.
screen yet.
But that's where we were, and that's where the Love FM studio is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna head back up that way.
On the right-hand side, this white building is Parco. That's where I got my
your lunch,
my lunch
today, Parco. Okay, we're heading that direction once the light changes.
I'm surprised your battery lasted.
Battery, we're still 27%. Yeah, we got another 10 minutes for sure. Anyways, we're enough time to get near City Hall, and then we're gonna say goodbye.
In the general, we're now going in the kind of general direction of City Hall, and also you could access Nakasu this way, couldn't you?
You could. Yeah, if you're watching Kyushu Live for the first time and liking it, hit that like button, subscribe.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all yoroshiku.
Wasn't there that tweet that went viral, which is a Japanese kid said goodbye to his grandmother by saying "Ina yoroshiku" or "Toroku yoroshiku" or something like that, like the Japanese equivalent of "Don't forget to subscribe," because he thought that was how you ended conversations.
Hears it so often
because all of his YouTube. Do you want to go to the City Hall that way and take a right? Because
that's a more interesting.
There's a couple of interesting spots. Firstly, because as I hoped, a yatai is just setting up, and these are great.
Yeah, the food stalls, famous, iconic Fukuoka food stalls. They're not allowed to actually open until 6. So these guys, what time is it now? Oh, it's almost 6. Yeah, this guy, I think they can. Well, no, I guess they can't come to the side. I don't know what it is, but there's a time limitation. This is just setting up for business.
But these guys work. You can smell the broth already. That's such a distinctive smell. This is the main post office, isn't it? On the left.
Right on the left is, and that's the Bank of Japan. But still in kind of an old style.
Yeah.
That's the Fort Knox of Fukuoka there, Kyushu.
Trying to think, there used to be a really good, maybe it's gone.
Over 70 buildings have or are to be torn down in the Tenjin area alone, as the building height regulations have been revised, and landlords are now incentivized to build brand new big buildings.
And also, the way that commercial real estate in Japan works is not like these developers. They expect a return on investment in a far shorter period than in other countries. So their models are kind of predicated on full ROI in 20 years, which means that that they can afford to tear it down and build it again.
Well, if it wasn't for the change in height regulation, people, there's really no incentive to build again. So it's a good thing.
Well, other than the fact that people are, that tenants are fickle, right? And they will.
Right, but where to? I mean, people want to be in the center core, right? So the center core was stifled at low old buildings. So I don't know. I'm not looking forward to when we're all standing in the shade, walking between big buildings. On the other hand, for the sake of the young people who want to have jobs and have companies, employers when in the city. It's a mixed bag with some good stuff. Here's a new pizza restaurant on this ground floor here.
That looks good.
But here we go. We're coming up to City Hall, coming up on the left-hand side. And this is going to be another big building right here with the blue awning. Behind here is another one coming up here. So next time you come back here, well, hopefully it's be a lot sooner. Things might look different. I'm going to get on this side of the road.
Is this where there's going to be an extension of the subway as well?
No, the extension of the subway is already open.
Oh, okay.
It opened a couple weeks ago. Switch back here. 2 weeks ago, I mean, there was nothing. That was just a pit here. This is going to be a huge building going up on this side. Anyways. Ollie in Fukuoka.
I'm genuinely happy to be back.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Happy to be back?
And out in front of the City Hall building,
yeah,
there would always be events. And I remember emceeing a couple and doing some stand-up comedy here. And thinking how wildly inappropriate it was.
I think it's a good place to wrap up.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Let's go in front of City Hall.
But can isn't it interesting? I mean, something that I hope the viewers will realise is we've walked, in practical terms, less than a 6 or 7 minute walk between Daimyo and here.
Right.
And the character could not be more different.
Mm-hmm.
Here you've got these big wide open roads. Mm-hmm. It's very orderly, very tidy and clean. Mm-hmm. And just that one little preserved district just over there is like it was 60 years ago.
Well, city versus village is what I like. That's like a little village feel.
Also,
this
is another really good example of a place where you can sit without spending money. I'm serious. It's like Japan is so good.
And with a musician.
Yeah, quite. But you can go to the Lawson, get a tinny, and sit there and have a great night.
Right. You want to grab a seat there, or how about we?
Should we call it a day here?
Yeah, we should wrap up here. We got this statue here, this lovely lady, by actually a Canadian artist. Why don't we just end with the back of the City Hall there? What do you think? All right, guys. Let's.
I have a YouTube channel too.
Go ahead and
I'll plug that.
Plug away.
Search for Ollie Horn.
First of all, Ollie, thank you so much for joining me today on Kyushu Live. Great to reconnect with you.
Very good. Thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah.
What does it say? The new book off store layout sucks. It's way too narrow. So many carbs.
Not much. Not many new comments.
But thanks for everyone that's watched.
Yeah. Here's your. Okay, this is now backwards here. Your Kyushu Live. I know you go to some bars every once in a while.
This is a coaster.
And that's a coaster. A Kyushu Live coaster. You got that.
Pathetic.
A little souvenir.
Absolute rubbish. Absolute tat. After 2 hours of walking.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you end up with, a piece of paper. Could be worse.
That was great. Yeah. And I got some coffee.
Hey, you picked up some coffee, saw some of your old haunts, brought some memories on memory lane, all that.
Yeah, this was really fun.
And thanks Jack's saying thanks, and so all the best of luck to you. Keep in touch.
And look, I hope to be back in Fukuoka. I'm going to do hopefully a new tour this time next year, and I've got every reason to come back now.
Great. Thanks, Ollie.
Mata ne.
Bye bye, everyone.